Today we are going to start one more thing, and that is the uses of goods in different ways. How do we use goods in different ways? Number one, first, this is called goods, or you can say merchandise, inventories also, right? So there are three things. Number one is when goods are bought. Goods are bought. They are called purchases. They are called purchases. And purchases, it is expense, right? So when we buy goods, it is called purchases, and we apply expenses rule over here. Increase in expense is debited, decrease in expense is credited. So you have to remember this point. Second thing is that when goods are sold, they are called sales, and it is revenue. So when we sell out our goods, we will apply a revenue rule over here, right? Increase in revenue is credited and decrease in revenue is debited. What remains is this third one, okay? And it is called stock. So when number three is number three, when we when goods are in stationary form, they are called stock. They are called stock. And it is asset. So when they are in stationary form, they are called stock, and we apply asset rule. An asset rule is increase in asset is debited, decrease in asset is credited. So you have to remember how goods or inventories are treated in accounting. Goods and inventories are recorded in three different ways or treated in three different ways. When they are bought, they are called purchases, that is expense. When goods are sold, they are called sales, it is revenue, right? And the things, inventories or goods which are in your showroom, shop, warehouse, they are in stationary form. They are in a stationary form. At that time, they are called asset. Okay, they are called stock, and stock is your asset. So we will apply here asset rule. Increase in asset is debited, decrease in asset is credited. So you must remember this chart, and we are going to start again our double entry system, general or generalizing, and you will realize when these things are happening, how they are treated in accounting. Double entry system or journal entries, or some people say generalizing. Here you have to use all those 5 rules, and you have to prepare journal, which I told you 2 days back that it is a kind of book where you record all your daily transactions, and once it is recorded, then we go to other books. So first step is double entry system, journal entry, or journal. Now, first transaction says A invested cash into business rupees 30,000. Okay. Now, I told you that when we use this word, it is your capital, and capital has been increased. And this cash is already mentioned over here. It is your asset, and it is also increased. So two accounting rules will be applied over here for asset and for capital. And I told you debit is recorded first, right? So this is your format one more time. This is your date. It is your particulars. This is your debit. This is your credit. I told you few minutes back that debit is recorded first. So cash over here increased. Cash belongs to asset. Increase in asset is debited. So date is number 1. Cash debited. The amount is 30,000. Capital also increased, but when capital increases, it is credited. It is credited. So increase in capital is credit. 30,000. You have to analyze three things over here. What are the accounts involved in the transaction? What are the titles are involved over here? And what are their rules? Titles are given over here. Where do they belong to? Cash is your asset. Invested or introduction something, introduce something in the business is called capital. Cash also increased over here. Capital also increased over here. And I told you, first in general, we record debit titles. So increase in asset is debited. So cash debited 30,000. In general, I told you many times that we don't record the accounts. We record titles. Here the titles are given to you, cash and capital. So cash belongs to asset, increase in asset is debited, capital, increase in capital is credit. That's how you prepare your journal entries, and we have done it before. This is again your kind of revision. Now, second entry or second transactions related with your goods. And just few minutes back, I told you how the goods are recorded in our books. Now, here in number 2, okay, yesterday bought goods for cash rupees 5,000. Cash already mentioned here. Goods and they are bought. They are bought. So it means they are called purchases, and cash was paid. So it means goods were bought for cash. So purchases, I told you when goods are bought, they are called purchases, and purchases is expense. So here goods are increased. It means expense increase, increase in expenses debited. So purchases debited 5,000. Cash is decreased over here, and cash belongs to your assets. So decrease in asset is credited. Here comes your D. Okay, pay some attention over here. What is happening in that transaction or in that particular activity, right? You are buying goods and you are buying goods for cash. So it means your cash is going out of the business. Cash has been decreased in this particular activity. Whereas goods are coming into the business. And when goods are bought, they are called purchases. And purchases belongs to expense. Here, expense has been increased. So, purchases plus cash decreased minus. Purchase belongs to expense. Increase in expense debited. Here, cash is decrease. Cash belongs to asset. Decrease in asset is credited. Purchase is debit, cash credit when your goods are bought for cash. Now, in this transactions, you are again buying goods, but this time goods are not bought for cash. It is on credit. It is on credit. Credit means you will pay it after some time. So it is your liability, and your liabilities increased. Your goods are what they are called purchases, and purchases increased. You bought your goods from Mr. B. So this is your trade payable liability. Okay. And when I provided you the theory, when I provided you the terminologies, I told you that when we buy goods from somebody, that person, that party is trade payable for us. Trade payable means the person from we buy goods on credit, right? So here we buy goods from Mr. B, that is our trade payable, and that is our liability. So what is happening over here is at this time you are buying goods on udhar credit, so purchases debit 3,000, and on the other hand your liability also increased, right? Increase in liability is credited. So here you will write trade payable B. You will use the name, okay? Trade payable B, because there can be, or I should say there are many parties from you buy goods on credit, right? You don't buy from one person or one party. You are doing the business. You should have many parties. There can be so many problems in future. So you should have your doors always open, right? So you can contact some other people if you are having or facing problem with that one person. So if you buy goods from one person, in future definitely you will have a lot of problems. So you must have other people who provide you goods on credit. So in accounting we write title trade payable, And with trade paybill, we do write the name of the party from PR, or we have bought goods. So here we have bought goods from Mr. B. Title is trade paybill. Next time it can be Mr. C. Third time it can be Mr. D. Okay. After some days it can be Mr. Z. So you must have many parties from you can get your goods on credit easily, right? So as usual, I give you few seconds. Look at this. What is happening over here? Then I will come to this point again one more time to explain you. Okay. Again, last time we bought goods for cash. So what we did was that we said purchases debit and cash credit. Why? Because it was cash buying. Cash. You bought goods for cash. So cash your decrease. But here in this activity, you are not paying cash at the moment, right? You promised him to pay after 2 days, 10 days, 12 days, 15, 20, perhaps 1 month. So for that particular period of time, that Mr. B, that Mr. B is your trade payable. And trade payable is what? Trade payable means a person from you buy goods on credit. A person who provided you anything on credit. Can be your asset, it can be your goods. So here you are buying goods, and when we buy goods, it is recorded as purchase. Increase in expense, purchase belongs to as expense. Expense increase होता है तो हम उसको करते हैं डेबिट. तो increase in purchases डेबिट हो गया, और on the other hand हमारी liability भी जो है वो increase हो गई. The increase in liability is credited. Purchases debit, trade payable credit. Now what I'm doing is the same thing is happening where I am just changing the name of the person and the amount. Name of the person and the amount. Mr. C, and amount is 2000. Everything is same. Everything is same. When we buy goods, they are called purchases. Purchases debit, and from there we buy goods. That person or party is called liability. Correct, right? Liability, increase in liability is credit. Here we will only change the name of the part. I told you trade payable is written, and besides trade payable we write name of the party. This time our party is C, and amount is 2000. Amount is 2000. This is very important. This is very important. We have to mention the name of the party, because in business we deal with a lot of parties, and if we don't write their names in future when we prepare the ledger, okay, at that time we have a lot of problems. We can have a lot of problems when we don't have their names against the purchases. We must write name. Otherwise, we cannot, figure out, okay, how many, what was the price of the goods, and how much we have paid or how much we have to pay in future. We cannot figure out if we don't write the name against trade payment. Name is very, very important. Is you have to remember. Now, here, what is happening that we bought goods and now definitely we will sell because we are doing the business. We sold goods, right? When goods are sold, they are called sales, and we are buying for cash. When we sell, cash is coming into the business, cash increases, and sales also increase, right? Increase in asset is debited. Cash belongs to your asset, and this is your sales, right? So date is number 4, and particulars debit, credit. Now, cash is increasing in the business for 2500. Cash is coming into the business, increase in asset is debited. And on the other hand, sales also increased. Sales increases, it is credited. Why? Because sales belongs to revenue. It is your revenue. And when revenue increases, it is always plus. So it is always credit. This is cash increase debit. Because we are getting cash and our goods are going in from the business. When goods are sold, they are called sales, and it is your revenue. So revenue increased is credited. When your asset increase, it is debited. Asset here in this particular transaction activity, in this activity, your asset is cash. Cash increase debit and revenue increase credit. Here you are selling your goods, right? This time you are selling your goods on credit. To whom we sell our goods or anything on credit, that is called trade receivable. Trade receivable. So here, Mr. Ali is our trade receivable, right? And trade receivable is our asset, and it is increasing. On the other hand, goods are sold. Goods are sold. They are called sales. Sales increased, your trade receivable increase. So what you will do is that here you will use trade receivable and you will use the name Ali. Amount is your 3000. Last time you sold your goods for cash, so cash was debited. This time you are selling your goods on credit. राइट तो जिसको सामान हम उधार बेचते हैं that party or that person is called trade receivable for us. Trade receivable for us, and trade receivable belongs to asset. एसेट आपका इंक्रीज हो गया तो इंक्रीज इन एसेट डेबिट हो गया और इंक्रीज इन सेल्स रेवेन्यू हो गई, रेवेन्यू इंक्रीज्ड हो गई तो आपकी क्या हो गई, ये आपकी रेवेन्यू हो गई, ये रेवेन्यू हो गई तो रेवेन्यू आपकी इंक्रीज हो गई। इंक्रीज इन रेवेन्यू क्रेडिटेड, इंक्रीज इन रेवेन्यू क्रेडिटेड और इंक्रीज रेवेन्यू का टाइटल क्या था, रेवेन्यू का टाइटल था आपका सेल्स, सेल्स आपने क्रेडिट कर दी विद अमाउंट 3000। so this is the difference between cash sales and credit sales. कैश सेल्स में हमारे पास कैश आता है और जब हम उसको उधार बेचते हैं तो हमारे पास जो है वो कोई कैश नहीं आता, उसकी जगह पे हमारे पास ट्रेड रिसीवेबल आ जाता है। वो विल पे अस इन फ्यूचर, वो हमें फ्यूचर में पे करेगा, जब पे करेगा तो जब देखेंगे क्या होता है वो उसकी एंट्री पे आपको बता देंगे हम। अभी क्या हो रहा है वो हमने रिकॉर्ड करना है कि कुछ ट्रांजैक्शंस कैश के होते हैं, कुछ ट्रांजैक्शंस क्रेडिट के होते हैं। मैंने इसमें आपको बता दिया कि अगर आप बाय करते हैं गुड्स, तो गुड्स जब बाय करते हैं तो उसको हम कहते हैं परचेजेस, और परचेजेस बिलोंग करता है हमारा एक्सपेंस से। एक्सपेंस इंक्रीज होता है तो हम उसको करते हैं डेबिट। जब वही चीज़ हम बेचते हैं, उन गुड्स को हम बेचते हैं तो वो हमारे लिए कहलाती हैं सेल्स, और जब सेल्स हमारी बढ़ती है तो सेल्स होती है हमारी रेवेन्यू, रेवेन्यू बढ़ती है तो वो होता है क्रेडिट। फिर दूसरा पॉइंट ये आज सीखा आपने कि जिसको सामान बेचा जाता है वो ट्रेड रिसीवेबल होता है। ये आप थियरी में पहले पढ़ चुके हैं, पहले मैं बता चुका हूँ आपको। ट्रेड रिसीवेबल होता है जिसको हम सामान उधार बेचते हैं, जो कि यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं, इस वाली एंट्री में देख। तो वो ट्रेड रिसीवेबल हमारा एसेट होता है, एंड एसेट इंक्रीज हो गया तो हमने उसको डेबिट कर दिया। कुछ जो चीज़ें होती हैं हम वो उधार खरीदते हैं, तो जिस पार्टी से हम उधार खरीदते हैं वो हमारा कहलाता है ट्रेड पेबल। तो ट्रेड पेबल जो है वो लायबिलिटी होती है, लायबिलिटी इंक्रीज होती है तो हम उसको क्रेडिट कर देते हैं। और जब वही चीज़ें खरीदी जाती हैं तो हम परचेजेस का नाम देते हैं, वही चीज़ें बेची जाती हैं तो हम उसका सेल्स का नाम देते हैं। वो चीज़ें जब हमारे शोरूम में रखी रहती हैं, वेयर हाउस में, गोडाउन वगैरह में पड़ी हुई होती हैं, तो उस वक़्त हम हाथ लगा के कहते हैं ये हमारा स्टॉक है, ये हमारा स्टॉक है, ये हमारा स्टॉक है। स्टॉक होता है आपका एसेट। फिर आज आपने ये सीखा कि अगर जिस पार्टी से सामान खरीदा जाएगा तो वो होगा ट्रेड पेबल। ट्रेड पेबल हम लिख के उसके आगे उसका नाम ज़रूर लिखेंगे कि किन हिसाब से खरीदा, मिस्टर जाफ़र से खरीदा, मिस्टर सादिक से खरीदा, मिस्टर ज़ीशान से खरीदा, मिस्टर रफ़ीक से खरीदा, मिस्टर अली से खरीदा। जब हम बेचते हैं तो उस वक़्त भी हमें नाम लिखना होता है ट्रेड पेबल, ठीक है? और जिस वक़्त हम खरीदते हैं उस वक़्त भी हमें नाम लिखना होता है ट्रेड रिसीवेबल। नाम ज़रूर हम लिखेंगे वरना फ्यूचर में जब हम लेजर्स बनाएँगे तो हमें बड़े प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, हमें बड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा। तो ये कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो आपको सीखनी थी, आपको बता दी गई। अगली क्लास होपफुली इंशाल्लाह होगी हमारी, तो फिर हम उसके ऊपर बात करेंगे, इसको दोबारा से रिवाइज़ करेंगे। ये सारा जो है दोबारा रिवीजन होगा, तो देखते हैं कि अगली क्लासेस कैसी चलती हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच। अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।